everybody, and welcome back to 31 Days of Indie Horror. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I'm solo today. I was supposed to be solo tomorrow, and then kind of things got switched. So there will be like one extra guest tomorrow, and it's actually going to be a guest that came already on the show before. So get ready for that. But I'm gonna go into sort of what this is all about. So I'm Jonathan Moody. I'm the co-host of Indie Film Cafe. I'm also the host of the Blu-ray Hunter and the co-host of one of the co-hosts of Horror Film Lovers. So we're going to be talking a lot about you know this movie here, Werewolf Santa. Yeah. So I picked it for a friend, and then they couldn't make it, so it's fine. I didn't pick it like because I thought the friend would like it. I had no idea. I always do that. I have no idea what the movie's about. I don't know what goes on in the movie. I don't know anything. And usually that works out very well. So, and it did in this case, sort of. First of all, I did not know this was found footage. If you know anything about me, you know I'm not a fan of found footage films. I will review them and I will watch them. The only ones I sort of like are the paranormal activities. I don't know why. I think because they're fun. And usually a lot of times they're not just people bickering the whole time, which that was a lot of this movie. Um, so basically, I guess these YouTubers, wanted to do like the story is that like these YouTubers wanted to catch this werewolf or whatever in the act, which I think is stupid anyway. If you had a werewolf running around, the last thing you'd want to do is go and try to videotape him killing people and stuff. I mean, and they talk in the beginning, you talk about like Bigfoot and stuff. So I think they're just trying to find these mythological creatures and stuff, and they stumble across a werewolf that's out during the full moon, during Christmas time, like right before Christmas. I'm thinking it's like Christmas Eve, like right when Santa is going around to the houses and stuff like that. And they see one victim that died, which would normally give you the hint like don't do that, like don't go after uh don't go after the werewolf because he means business. But that didn't stop these people who there was three people. One person was videotaping most of the time, and there's two other people. I mean, honestly, their names I don't even. I'm gonna have to I have to whip this out. Um, Weird. Okay, it's down here. Um, the first one was Lucy. She was played by Catherine Rodden. Catherine Rodden had been in stuff like Blood Cots. She was in a short film called The Outer Circle. I mean, she's been in like 49 titles. I'm not gonna read all of them. I don't know any of them. She is British, so a lot of British entertainment I'm not as familiar with. I've been watching a lot of British horror films, especially for the 31 Days of Indie Horror, so it happens. Tubi has a lot of them, so yes, this is on Tubi if you like to see it. Also, understand I am going to spoil the movie, so if you don't want to hear spoilers, go see the movie on Tubi, come back and listen to my review. Or if you want to hear spoilers, you don't care because it looks like such a silly movie that you don't think you'll ever actually watch. Feel free. So yep, Catherine Rodden played Roden. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name exactly. Mark Arnold. Now he was the one that looked familiar the most. Yeah, so he's been in some stuff. Like he was in Teen Wolf, the original Teen Wolf, back in the day as a character named Mick. And I'm guessing that is one of the I don't know, one of the kids. Like that was 1985, so and he's an older gentleman, so maybe he's one of the teenagers then or so. I'm not sure. It's been a long time since I've seen Teen Wolf. I love it, but it's just been a while. It's kind of funny to get somebody from Teen Wolf to be in Werewolf Santa. Um, and there's a really good twist with that, so I will tell you about. Yeah, so I do like he does look familiar, and he's been in a lot of stuff like Angel Has Fallen. Um, it came from the desert. I don't know, Teen Wolf. I mean, he's been in some stuff, so there you go. Look him up, Mark Arnold. And he played Charlie. Emily Booth played Carol. Emily Booth was the person that apparently was the most famous, I guess, in the group. Um, but I'm guessing it's because she was in the movie Doghouse. She was in The Reverend, Sacred Flesh, Evil Aliens. So she's been in a few things. Um, Cyan Lorcan played Rupert, and Cyan's been in Battle Scars, and Save Me, which are short films. So I'm guessing he's gonna be in a few feature films soon. Some more. This is barely a feature, it's like an hour and 11 minutes, which is a perfect runtime, by the way. Don't get me wrong, that's not I don't want it to be longer. Um, in fact, I kind of wish it was shorter, like a short film, because it honestly and the way that it worked, it stretched its length a little bit to me. Uh Corey Peterson played no, wait, Charlie Preston played Dustin. And this is his only movie. Corey Peterson played Father Christmas, aka Santa. This is his only movie. The Werewolf Santa himself was Dave Darko. With the name like that, you'd assume. Yep, he's a special makeup artist. He didn't do the special makeup effects art for this movie. But was he part of the makeup department or something? He was he's been an actor in Bad Moon Rising, Heckle, Blue Moon. He's done a lot of werewolf ones, seems. Um, Special effects. Yeah, he didn't. He was the creature concept designer for Werewolf Santa. So that's pretty cool. Um, and then the last one I'm going to mention because everybody else is kind of small potatoes, but there was Joe Bob Briggs who did and I don't need to read off his things. So Joe Bob Briggs was the narrator in the beginning. He just did basically the Santa Claus like story of um the night before Christmas. And it was nice. I mean, honestly, if that was it, I know it's just a short film of Joe Bob Briggs doing the night before Christmas, I would have been happy. Because that was awesome. I loved it. He was only in that bit, for that. I'm wondering if they like found that audio and they just paid for his inclusion on it, or if they asked him to do it. Um, but yeah. So by the way, I am drinking hot apple cider. It's not as hot anymore because I left it out, but yum yum. Food Line brand, hot apple cider. It's the best. Other thing I'm gonna say is the picture behind me. That is not Santa looked like. Where will Santa look like? Where will Santa pretty much just look like Santa, I guess, like more like zombie Santa. I mean, there was stuff with the werewolf. You see him sort of far, you don't really see him up close. Kind of a bummer. I'm guessing that was because the outfit didn't look great, and there was no real good transformation like you see in like American Werewolf in London or something, or Howling. I mean, they didn't have like I don't think they had K and B effects or anybody like that doing the stuff. They just had, them. Whoever the special effects people were, see who the special effects makeup people were. Because I mean, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't that fantastic. The director is Ariel Anthony Hales. Um, he's an executive producer on a bunch of stuff, but is he, what is this? He's directed a few projects. So this isn't his first. His first feature was a movie called They're Outside. There's another movie called Spider Inside Her, which is a pretty cool title. Um, Midnight Peep Show, also a pretty good title. He's got some good title, like Werewolf Santa sounded cool. Like I got sort of excited when I heard that title. I was like, who wouldn't want to watch a movie about a werewolf and Santa together? Like that just sounds awesome. Whoever pitched it, I mean, that's the perfect pitch. But problem is the execution to me didn't do that well. And the main issue I had with it was the found footage. If they had made it a normal movie, maybe included some of the footage, like they were YouTubers out there doing this stuff, and then sometimes we've seen that in other projects. But this was like all found footage. Found footage movies drive me crazy. All started with Blair Witch. Everybody loves Blair Witch. I am not a fan of the first Blair Witch. I haven't even seen the second one. I didn't like it. I owned the remake and I didn't even watch that. I just wasn't a fan of the first one because I don't I like what they did. Okay, I will say I was pretty impressed by what they were able to do on a low budget and make a movie and make a big profit off of it. That's make a franchise, like horror franchise, whatever. Perfect. However, I just didn't like the execution of the idea. Like I like the idea, didn't like the execution. I don't like movies where they're talking to the camera or they're interviewing people and then later they're getting slaughtered and they stop to talk to the camera or they in this movie it drove me nuts where they turn around and the guy's running from the Santa, but oh no, you gotta get shots of Santa. I'm like, dudes, no. In real life, I don't care who you are. I don't care how much this meant to you. You would drop that camera in a second, and stuff like that sort of bugs me. They did it with Blair Witch, where they would run, with the camera and you'd see the shaky cam and stuff. And they did that with this. It was shaky cam and made me, my friend said she was dizzy from it. I was dizzy from it too. Um, I was just like, and I kind of almost wanted to sleep through this movie because there were times where, um, I just was sort of a little bit bored by it. A little bit. Not so much that I was like, oh, I can't believe I'm watching this. But more so like there were slow moments where I think they were trying to make it character driven, but I just couldn't I could care less about the characters. That's the problem, is I could care less about the characters. And the characters are honestly supposed to be the most important. I don't care about this love relationship thing that sort of sounded like it was happening, and then it nothing happened because I guess the girl just thought of her of the guy as a friend. I don't care about any of that stuff. I don't care. You know, I don't care. I mean, it was cool to see Santa get attacked, and then apparently the reindeers, which we never see the reindeers, we only see the aftermath of the reindeers. Um, they were killed and stuff and slaughtered. And then, and poor Santa, I don't know what happened with him really. Like, I mean, I guess he's magic. He can just poof himself to him and his stuff to the North Pole. I guess that Christmas, none of the kids got their toys because I mean, what else is he gonna do? Um, it it felt like there was a lot of comedy in the movie. Some of it fell flat to me. Some of it was made me chuckle and giggle a little bit. Um, the father being a cop, like a sheriff or a captain, whatever he was, And then so he had control of the town and he was the like last remaining werewolf. Oh, we don't know this until the end of the movie, right? That's the point, right? They want that to be the twist. But I'm like, there's millions of times where he can just say, hey, I'm also the werewolf that that created Santa, you know, or whatever. Um, which is stupid. They created Santa werewolf, werewolf Santa, whatever you want to call him. I like Santa werewolf, but I guess werewolf Santa just I don't know. Even though Santa should come first as alphabetically. Um, I just honestly, I'm trying to like think of nice things to say. And there are some like it wasn't a because it was so short. It wasn't a bad like like you could get through it pretty quickly. Um, but I feel like the story and stuff is just so overdone that after a while, I just kind of I felt like I've seen this type of movie before like a ton of times. The only difference is now there's a werewolf Santa in it. And even then, you see him a few times and he's kind of cool. I mean, whatever. And then at the end, okay, so let me skip to the end because I'm running out of juice right now to be able to talk about this movie. So this is probably going to be the shortest 31 days of India horror I've done on this season. This harkens back to the first season when I had half and half, like I did half mine and half I had a guest. And then second and third seasons and even fourth season up to now, I had guests, you know. Literally today is up to now, and I'm gonna get more into that tomorrow on the last day where I sort of do a little bit of a recap, after we do the review, I'm gonna do a little bit of a recap to talk about this past season and kind of what to expect from next season. Um, but yeah, I just honestly I wasn't blown away by the movie. I think that the director has talent, Like I think he's not a boring director. He's kept my interest. I just think that the movie itself had it just suffered the flaws because it didn't need to be a found footage film. I got so angry that it was one. Like I was like, what is going on? I don't like this. I don't care about these characters now. Like it just lost my interest when I found out it was a found footage film. And it probably lose a lot of people's interest once they find that, oh no, it's a found footage movie. Never mind. My brother does this movie movie night with a friend of his, and they will watch horror films. And he asked me about one specific movie. I said, "Oh yeah, it's a found footage movie." And man, did his eyes just kind of roll back, and he did not really want to watch that. And it's not a bad. The one that they mentioned is supposedly not a bad one. I haven't seen it, but I don't. It's really hard for me to like these movies. Paranormal Activity was one of the few, only because it kind of broke tradition and made it about the uh webcams and security stuff and everything like that, security cameras, things like that, all hooked up into one. So it wasn't like somebody videotaping the whole time like this movie had, and this movie just drove me nuts with that. I was just like, and then I mean, even at one point the guy says, "Turn the camera off." Oh no, don't turn the camera. Oh, don't turn the camera off because we have to see what's going on, for the movie, for the sake of the movie. I mean, it is it is one of them up there. I used to not like zombie movies. I'm still sort of partial, like sort of against zombie movies, but if it's funny, I dig it. This had enough comedy in it that sort of made me chuckle that I will forgive it, maybe. Um, but I'll still say, like, I don't ever tell people not to watch something, because they may have seen something I didn't see, or they may like something that I don't like. There's an awesome filmmaker. Steve Rosinski. I love him to death, but we have the exact opposite taste in movies. We do. I mean, he'll admit it. Every time I'll say I like something, he'll be like, "Oh man, I hated it," or I couldn't get into that movie. And then when he says I love a movie, I'm usually like, "Oh man, I hated that film," and or whatever, and that's fine. We could all have different tastes. I love his movies, and I think he's a really fantastic director. Um, but if I didn't, that's fine too. I don't have to like everybody's movie. I don't. A lot of times in the indie industry, there's one little thing that kind of, you know, um, that kind of pisses me off a little bit, is that we're not allowed to that critics aren't allowed to tell their point of view. Now, there's a difference between critics and just people who are just mean spirited and everything. We on Indie Film Cafe, we are not mean spirited on purpose. If we do come off as mean spirited at times, it's because like the movie kind of is terrible, and it's harder to be nice about it. This movie is not terrible. Like this movie is good. This movie has is good enough. Like it has things where it's well done directing wise. It's well done acting wise. All the actors are, pretty spot on. There's no bad dialogue for the writing. There's no it's just it's just a concept that I feel like gets overused, especially with the found footage and then werewolves. So it just does all the tropes of the werewolf, silver bullets, moonlight, you know, all the classics, but then it does the thing at the end where it's the all of a sudden there's the lead werewolf, it's alpha. If you kill the alpha, everybody else is free from the curse. And so she doesn't want to kill the alpha. The alpha's her dad. So the dad starts trying to get her to kill him by saying all these nasty things to her to get her to do it, and she still doesn't want to do it. Um, Eventually she does. Does she or somebody else? I think she does it. It's either her or the mom. I don't remember exactly. But one of them kills the dad, and the dad all the werewolves, including Werewolf Santa, are set free, which, sort of is like, oh, well, okay, so there's no more werewolves in the world, in this world. That's kind of boring. Um, and then Santa gets abducted by aliens. So I'm guessing that was supposed to be like the next one is Alien Santa or something. I don't know. But which would be cool. I would watch that. I'd watch Alien Santa. I didn't, like I said, I didn't hate the movie. I just found the movie to sort of be typical and boring on that, kind of thing. Like I just wish it would have been more fun if they had gotten away from the found footage crap and went on and just made a regular movie about and I get it because there'd be no other reason other than documentation for them to go out and deal with the werewolf. That would have still been more fun. That still would have been really cool. What if the werewolf Santa was going house to house and murdering people? Now, I get it, money wise, kind of hard, but you only need like one or two houses, or whatever to set that up and everything. And then he can be out, like people could be out in the woods. There was a random sex scene in this movie that just felt um not not good. Like it felt forced in there and I didn't like it. I didn't feel comfortable watching it. I don't Honestly, I don't even feel comfortable watching sex in horror movies these days because a lot of times it just feels like, oh, we got to throw it in because people like nudity in the movie or something. And maybe that's not the case, but there really was no point to it other than comedy, which was that they were still having sex even though there's a werewolf Santa out on the prowl. Um, so it is another thing that sort of made me laugh in a way was the idea that, both Werewolf Santa and where or Werewolf and Santas are both, let's face it, if your kids are watching this thing, put your kids' headphones on, let them not listen to this. Santa's not real. Neither is werewolves. So having them together and then telling people there's a werewolf Santa, like the mom drives them, but she doesn't even believe any of this stuff at first. She doesn't think any of this is real until her ex-husband, the cop, says, "Yeah, these are real, and I've been dealing with this for like years or whatever." So, I mean, some of it doesn't make any sense, some of it does, some of it is whatever. But the movie itself is good enough to watch. If you haven't seen it, and I spoiled shit, so sorry. But if you haven't seen it, go watch it. I mean, me telling you one thing is one thing, you watching it is another. Go watch it. Tell me what you think. I can't fully say I'd watch this again. Um, but I wouldn't mind owning it at some point on physical media. If there is a physical media release of it, which I bet there is. Other than that, I don't know if I'd want to watch it over and over again. It's not it's not your it's not like Gremlins or a horror Christmas movie. It's nothing like that. So, well, hope you guys enjoyed this. I will be back tomorrow, hopefully with another guest. Not, it'll be another one of me solo, which is fine. I'm okay with doing it by myself. I just got to do it. Just got to get it done. Just got 2 more days, and that's it. And this day is the last day before the last day, I guess. So second to last day, and then we're done. I'm done, and I'm off to do other shit. Get back to my normal life because this has been killing me, which will be discussed tomorrow on the last episode. A lot more of me talking about this whole thing as a whole and everything will be done on the 31st on Halloween. So happy Devil's Night or whatever you guys want to call it, the night before Christmas. I always, or Halloween, not Christmas. I got Christmas on the brain. Um, yeah. So it is, I always watch Are You for the Dark on the day before, and I watch the Twisted Claw one, and it is it's a lot of fun to watch that like right before Halloween. So hope you guys had a good one. Uh and I'll be back tomorrow for a brand new episode. Until then, everybody, bye.